Everett, and I'm
Hold
doing.
on, start over. Go ahead.
My name is Daunte Everett. I'm doing an informative speech on Mike Tyson, but specifically on the topic of richest man going broke. Started off, Mike Tyson grew up in the upscale state of New York, and he grew up without his mother and father. So, growing up, of course, he had it rough, but mainly because he didn't really have any guidance. So it was just kind of hard. So I guess he was looking for somebody to look up to, but he got involved with the wrong type of people, and that ended up with him being put in the detention center. But that's how his boxing career all started. You know, he just began just fighting in the streets, and one day trainers just saw him, and they decided, they wanted to take a chance on him, and they saw his potential, so they took him up and just started training him so that he could ultimately become a pro like he did. But back on the topic of richest man going broke, have you ever wondered how is it possible to make a lot of money and blow it all over the course of a few years? Former boxing champion Mike Tyson is a prime example of how athletes go broke. He started off very wealthy with his boxing matches, earning him anywhere from $10 to $30 million per boxing match, and he didn't really have a financial advisor or somebody to guide him and just say, hey, put this money aside, save it, because there's a life after boxing. And he didn't really think of that as much. He spent a lot of money on jewelry, clothes, big houses, two big houses that was worth an estimated $13 million in Las Vegas. And he just started just spending and living reckless, well, above his means. Well, he could at the time, but, with taxes and everything, him having to pay that back at the end of the year, he really wasn't using his head. But he blowed a lot of money on non-necessitative stuff. The biggest thing that everybody kind of caught an eye on was his almost $200,000 jewelry necklace that he bought, and everybody didn't know what was the purpose of that, and he didn't really have an answer for it. But all of the money that he lost especially came from a lot of bad investments and just really pointless spendings. He had a lot of expensive cars, clothes, but he didn't really, I don't want to say used it, but he didn't really properly manage his money, and I think that really hurt him in the long run. And also, what I think really hurt him was the fact that, he lost to Bugler Douglas, who was really a nobody in the boxing world, and that kind of it didn't really take his fame and bring it down, but his fame kind of started shifting, and he kind of almost started becoming a nobody overnight. But I'm not really sure why, but I think I think the biggest advice I give to somebody is that, when you're making a lot of money or you're seeing a lot of money that you've never seen before, you have to be careful with how you spend it, how you use it, and the way you properly manage it, because you don't want to have a lot of money and then years later, you just don't have anything to show for it. And I think that was one of the things that Mike Tyson, he did, him, he's just right now, he's very lost, and I think he's very lost and he's very broke. He owes the IRS $15 million in taxes, and he has no idea how he's gonna pay that back. He's over 40, so he doesn't really have any money to show for it. So the IRS took back a lot of his houses and a lot of his other assets, and he's struggling to make ends meet, and it's all because he didn't really spend his money wisely. But I think that's the biggest thing I can just say. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with you know, investing your money. Well, like that's what you want to do. You want to invest your money. That way your money can grow even when you're long gone after whatever your career or what you're trying to do with your life. And another big key I would say is besides saving your money would be just saving your money. That's